Where are you? You're back. I just sent you the link to the live stream
Kidoki.
over on Teams.
Let's get it out on LinkedIn and everything.
Yep.
Damn, this is killing my machine for some reason. My Edge just died.
Oh, sorry.
Like my computer just won't do anything right now. I could switch between apps.
Okay, I'm posting. Okay.
That's good. I can't even do anything on my computer. Like I don't even see your face anymore.
Really? Do you hear me?
I hear you.
You want to jump out and jump back in?
Oh, my Edge just decided to come back.
Okay.
Or maybe not. Yeah, I'll try. Oh, fuck everything go. Okay, see your face now.
You can?
Okay, now things are back.
Well, kill all that stuff you're looking at. Also, probably kill. Do you have any big apps that you're running? Extra instances of Rider or Visual Studio or anything?
Nope. I
Okay.
restarted my computer. I'm at bare minimum. I got Edge running
Okay.
and Terminal and Rider.
Okay.
It's probably just because the computer's still booting up. There was a bunch of stuff happening. Okay, so let me share my screen. I guess we can
Yeah,
start.
you can. You should be able to share it. It's down next to the leave button at the bottom.
Yeah, it's a terrible spot for sure. I don't know why anyone does that. Need to build some kind of like kickoff or countdown.
We'll figure that one out. Cool. I'm watching it on YouTube on my laptop, so it's all good. We have just me watching. No one else is on, so. But I'm keeping an eye on the chat, so if anyone does live chatting.
It's fine. We'll start at 5 after the hour since the word just got out. And if anything, this will just be recorded for.
Oh yeah, it records. Riverside will record this also, so we'll have the raw video that we can
Yeah.
do whatever we want with.
I figure we post them both to our YouTube channels once it's done.
Yeah, or we could even chop it up into smaller video chunks.
Mm-hmm. Went to bed last night and one of the outlets in my room stopped working. I was trying to charge my
Really?
phone. Yeah, and it just stopped working. So this morning, for the last hour, I've been up there trying to figure out why it stopped. I replaced it, it's still dead. I have no idea where the rest of that power comes from.
That's weird.
Yeah, it happened in my office like 2 weeks ago. On a Saturday morning, it just all of a sudden lost power. One of the outlets
Did,
just died.
and it wasn't the circuit breaker; it was the actual outlet.
It wasn't even the outlet. After I took the outlet out
Yeah.
and put it back in, I guess I had tightened all the connections. It started working again.
Oh,
But I had no idea what was wrong. It was getting the current. The one upstairs getting the current, but I have no idea why it's not working. So
that's called a ghost, man. You
yeah,
have
I just
electrical.
changed the outlet and came down here to, check email while I was up there. It's a good thing I checked again because again I thought this was at 2 o'clock my time. So when I'm done with this, I'm gonna go back upstairs and see if I can figure out what's happening. Okay, it's 5 after. Let's get started. This way we have a breaking point or starting point. If you need anything, message. My Teams is on the other window.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a screen.
Sure.
I'm not gonna
Yep.
put Teams on it. Okay, so we're here today to start talking about morespeakers.com and introducing the squads to it. Squads is kind of it's a series of agents. They basically work as a team or a squad that you can use to get different AI agents working at the same time on your project. So I'm here with Chris Woodruff, aka Woody. Him and I worked on building out the morespeakers.com website, which I should probably bring up. And we're going to basically just kind of throw AI at this some more and figure out. I got to yell at Michael Eaton. His image is not available.
Broken. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the concept of this site is for you to sign up. If you're a speaker, sign up as a mentor. If you're looking to be a speaker or you just want to improve your speaking skills, you can sign up and ask for mentorship, and then you kind of pair together with other people. So you can request a mentor. He, she, or they can then say yes or no, and then connection is made, and you two can kind of work together to hone your skills. It's a pretty simple, basic site. It's written with ASP.NET, C Sharp, and uses HTMX for kind of the interactiveness. You can browse speakers. I can view a profile of a speaker. Let's look at Suzuki and see her profile. Tells me a little bit about her. She's an experienced speaker, the goals she has. Here's a list of all the skills that she has that were entered on our site. She says, yes, I have these. So you can kind of pair up with this. And then we have different social links. They can register for one of 14 different social links: LinkedIn, personal website, YouTube, GitHub, etc. If you're signed in, I can then go and request her. So I'm going to log in just to kind of show that experience. And I'm going to have to log into OnePass so I can get my passkey.
That's a big passcode. That's a big password, man.
Yep. Well, it has all the passwords for all my financial everything, so I try to make it as complicated as possible. So
I thought
we
it was
have
just Mickey Mouse 01.
Mickey Mouse 01 underscore loves Minnie Mouse.
Yeah.
Do I not have? Oh, maybe I don't have one for the actual site. I have one locally. Let's try with my username.
There we go.
Thought I created a passkey for this. There it goes. So now I'm logged in. Because I'm an admin, I have some other things, but I can see my requests, my active mentorships. If I go to admin, I can see some stuff. We have a dashboard that we haven't totally hooked up yet, but we have maintenance sites. We can manage users, manage social sites, etc. And then somewhere, where do we put it? Oh, if we go back to the main site, be able to click our GitHub link and see, the code, as well as the right now 16 issues we have. It's a bunch of pictures of Woody. He's got a lot of stuff that he was supposed to do and hasn't done it yet, so we'll address some of
That's
those
me.
today.
Yep. Let's see if we can get some of the some of the admin stuff where we decided not to do or maybe push off.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is once we throw a squad at it, it can look at those things and see if they're actually already implemented, or we can kind of close them as not being done. So if we look at the code, we actually you can't see it here, so let me just open up one of these files. Woody started this project back in November. He used Claude Code to create a lot of the base foundation, and then got me involved with it, and we ended up adding 2 or 3 other people to help. And turns out that all 3 of us had different AI agents that we like to use. We had Claude in here, as you see. We have Junie in here. We have
I think we
instructions.
even got some Copilot. I think
Yep.
it was a little Copilot going on.
Yep. So we have commands for Claude and skills for Claude, and then we have for JetBrains Junie. Oh, why is that folder empty? Should be one in there. And then see for GitHub, we have a couple different agents for APIs, dev. If you don't know what an agent is, essentially they're very specialized skill sets. So if we were to open up any of these files, you'll see the rules and what an agent can do. So let's just kind of take a look at them. I'm going to open this up in let's open this up in Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to go back here and do, where is it? Show more options. I want Visual Studio Code. I'll just open in Terminal. And then what I can do from there is I'll just navigate into folder. I'll do cd cd and then code-insiders local. And this is going to open up code insiders in that folder. Yes, I trust the authors. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. And I'm just opening this up so we can see what it looks like. Let's get you out of here. Let's close you for now. Maximize this. And you see the Claude. If we look at the commands, you have DB change, kind of gives it a skill set saying, remember to modify SQL scripts in this folder, and then update the app host. For docs, what to do. For features, what to do, and what to do for tests. And then for Claude, there are skills. So we have a .NET feature saying whenever we want to add .NET feature, this gives a quick description, but these are basically rules. And it's free form text. You can put it whatever you want. What will happen is when Claude Code starts up, it'll read these skills and say, okay, we're following clean code architecture pattern, ensures consistency, blah, blah, blah. For domain, this is where you define all of your, sorry, my GitHub credentials are needed. So it's trying to log in right now. So for our domain, this is where we define all the interfaces, models, enums, data to implement. So you basically give it a framework for it. Like namespaces always use file scope with examples. We always want to use dependency injection. Domain layer should have all these, data layer, etc. So you're basically giving rules and guidelines for it. You look at the QA engineer, it tells you about what we're using. So for our testing, we use XUnit, fluent assertions, as well as mock. And then we want to generate any fake data, we use this package called Bogus. So that gives Claude the guidelines, say, okay, if I need to build a new set of test cases, I need to put it in more speakers.test project, and then I can use these packages. This is our new standard for it.
Yeah. Sorry,
ahead.
Joe. No, I was just going to say the one thing when I first started doing and using Claude, I didn't have this, and I don't think Claude had skills yet back last fall, so it was hard to keep a context going, and every time I would come in and write new code using Claude, it would behave like some different developer, and so that really kind of took me down a bad path for the code. The application worked well, but the code was very dysfunctional. It had very unique paths of execution in some places, and just not connected logic. So when Joe came on,
a nice way to put it.
Yeah, it was pretty spaghetti. It was a lot of spaghetti code. So
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't necessarily totally spaghetti, in the traditional sense. It was more like what he said. He came and did a feature, let's say on a Monday, and it went and coded away, and it quote unquote worked. And then Tuesday he came along and did another feature, and that coded and worked. And then did same thing Wednesday, that coded and worked. And then when you looked at it Thursday, it looked like you had 3 different engineers working on it that didn't know about each other. There were different naming standards, different places that code was put. And that's where a lot of these skills come in now. Skills and history and decisions. So enough about those. I'm going to close this for now because I don't think we'll need it. Let's take a look at what Squad does. Where's my browser window? So if you go to the Squad website, let me zoom in on you a little bit. Let's do you at 150 usually works. So Squad was started by Brady Gaster, who's I think principal architect at Microsoft in the GitHub AI team or AI team. I forget his actual team location.
They move around so much. I don't know where Brady used to be on Azure. Then he went over to AI. He might still be there. He might be someplace else.
Yeah, where he is, it doesn't matter. He's still at Microsoft, and he's been a lead contributor to this, or at least started it out. I think there's like 5 contributors, and you can check out the code. If we go here and look at the contributors, well, there's 32 now. Brady was the first one, but I think there's a key group of 5 or 6 individuals that work on it. And then, like most open source projects, there's someone who could, contributes 1 or 2 things to it, which is the beauty of open source. So The only real requirement for Squad is you have Node, Git, and GitHub Copilot. It uses GitHub Copilot as kind of the AI to it. You can choose any one of the 15 or 16 different models, which I'll show you that once we start getting to it. The installation is very simple. You do npm install and then at Brady Gaskar /squad-CLI. I would imagine once this project becomes, real, quote unquote, as you say here, it's still in alpha, that'll probably be moved into a Microsoft or GitHub Copilot repository. But for now, it's still in its infant stages. I mean, it's only been out for, I think, 6 weeks now, or maybe a little bit more.
So do you? I'm gonna be the question asker, Joe. So when you install this with npm, is this a global install, or does this install? Do you have to install it in the repository or in the folder for the project that you're working with?
The answer is yes.
Okay.
You can install it globally and have a global team. That's kind of the default for each of your projects, or you can install it locally in one Git repo and use it.
Gotcha.
So it's basically install the npm. You can install the npm package globally so that you can reuse it anywhere else. And then when you reuse it elsewhere, you can choose to use your global configuration, which you might have if you're a corporate engineer. You might always want to have the same roles and the same kind of team dedicated to your project, so you're not flipping around. But like for me on this laptop, this is not a corporate laptop, so I might have different rules for one of my personal projects versus, this more speakers or another project I'm working on. So I would install it locally into each, even though I have it globally installed. So like I said, I already have it installed. So the next step would be for us to install it in the more speakers. I'm going to navigate to more speakers, cd/projects or profits/more speakers. You want to do it in the root of your branch. I should probably create a branch for this. So I'm going to do branch squad. I think that's the syntax. I've used JetBrains and so many others for so long that I forget the command line syntax. I'm just going to jump over to JetBrains. Ooh, good thing I came here because I noticed I have to pull in 2 things. Let's update that. Authorize. Hi. It uses Windows Hello to authorize, but since the camera is being used by this, it won't let me. Okay. So let's do new branch and call it squad. Okay, so let's go back here. Now I can actually do this in the terminal within Rider. I'm using JetBrains Rider. You can do it in terminal Rider or Visual Studio Code, whatever your IDE is. I tend to like to keep them separate because I might be doing other things in here that don't affect the IDE. Okay, so I think the first command in my 5-minute start that's now taken 20 some odd minutes is to do npx squad init. So I copied that over. I'm going to do that. Now in about a minute or two, it's going to build a team. You see it just generated a bunch of stuff for me. And let's take a look at these files. And then we'll kind of open it up in Notepad or Visual Studio Code to see kind of what got created. So you notice just about everything is in the .squad directory, and that's where all the logic is. So you have a config, which we'll kind of look at. Actually, let's go and look at now. Squad is ready to run, so let's do code insiders. I can open up in JetBrains Rider, but it's just easier to do it from here because I don't have to kind of commit any of the files. So it threw a bunch of stuff in here. The main couple of things that you're going to want to look at are the agents, casting, and identity. You'll look at decisions occasionally, but that's going to be handled by squads. So by default, you get 2 agents that start with. Agents are like individual team members. So each agent gets a squad or a squad member called Ralph. Ralph is kind of like the project manager. You can think of him. Ralph is available for every project, no matter what you do. Now, when you cast in, when you create your cast, like most engineers, Brady was looking for something a little clever. So he went and created a bunch of universes. So like for my personal project, I ended up with the, I can't remember the name of it all of a sudden, the Matrix. So I have people like Neo, who's my architect, Trinity, who handles my front end, and I can't even remember the other.
I hope Agent Smith is your tester. So.
No, my tester is Tank for some reason.
Oh, it's Tank? Okay.
I think Agent Smith, no, I don't have an Agent Smith in there. But no matter what you have, you always have Ralph to it. So like this will tell you Ralph's responsibility is to collaborate, maintain code quality, project standards, and then you have a history. Each one will always have a charter and a history for it. If we look at the scribe is just that. It maintains all the history, decisions, technical records. So it's responsible for coordinating. If you say, hey, going forward, I want every button to be the color blue. The scribe is the one that's going to write that decision and update each of the different agents for it. So if we look at the casting now, casting is blank because we didn't cast anything out. If we look at decisions, it has an inbox. The scribe is going to use this to basically write out stuff. So it's going to be constantly polling the inbox directory for things. Identity kind of tells you what's happening now. It kind of allows you to be able to kick things off. And then for wisdom, it kind of shows you things or patterns and stuff that you want to make sure always happen. And the plugins I haven't played with yet, but you can use a lot of like the Copilot-awesome plugins for it. And then there's different templates. So you see in templates, here's one for Futurama. So I've got a funny feeling we're going to end up with Futurama for this project. I think there's a way to actually tell it which one you want. And here's our ceremonies. Can tell you when they're kicked off. You can set up sprints and retros to happen every week or every 10 features. You can trigger a retro manually or when there's a build failure or something. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. And then routing table. Since we don't have a team established yet, there's no routing. So that will allow us to be able to figure out who's going to take what issues, like who's going to be my architect, who's going to be my lead. So we got that, and that's the basics of it. Let's go back to the site and see the next step for us. So we did the installation. We saw that we had the squad. Let's do the NPX status and see. So let's go back here, do NPX status. It says it's active. It's telling you that the repo location is morespeakers.com.squad. My global path here, and this is what, your question before, Woody, is can you have one that's global and that? So if I end up navigating to this folder here, I'll be able to see what the default settings are for my squads. Ooh, look at that. Come on, Edge, behave. It's probably Riverside catching. There you go. So we can give it, let's go to our first session. Already did that. Already knit. And now we have squad. So I'm going to go to, I'm going to open up Copilot in this terminal. Let's see, I'll split these windows so you can kind of see them side by side. Okay, so let's open them. This requires the GitHub Copilot. There, you can choose Agent Squad, and that will load it by default. If you just load up Copilot, it's going to ask you which squad you want.
Or which
telling me-
type of development environment you're going to go with, right?
Well,
you
yeah.
can
Once
do-
you say I want to build a squad, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions, and then
Yeah.
it will create that team for you.
Awesome.
Look at it. There's an update. So let me update it now, because nothing like updating when you're in prod, right? When you're on a
Yeah,
live stream.
yeah. Let's always update when we're showing, when we're demoing.
I just did.
Good.
Okay, so I'm going to choose agent, and then get a Copilot pop up a list, and I see that because we've entered other Copilots, remember before I was showing you an API agent, a dev docs, those are all appearing here, but we're going to choose the squad, which will come with our own. And then it should give us a prompt. We're supposed to give us a prompt.
I'm sure it will.
No, it's actually, it would have popped up by now. So select squad from the agent. Squad greets you by name. Well, it hasn't done that yet. I'm mad at you, squads. Let's kick it off. Oh, probably because I haven't done the squad init, I bet, right? Yeah, all those get
Well,
init
you didn't.
and then squad.
Yeah, I don't think you started squad.
Yeah,
Technically.
it is. You have to do that first. Quit.
I
This is
wasn't
the
gonna
only
say
time you
anything.
can.
I wasn't going to say anything, Joe, but I was like, I don't think you started squad yet. Awesome.
Okay, built my team. Now let's go back to Copilot. So you can type whatever you want. You can address people. So I'm going to say Ralph. That's going to go directly to Ralph, who I said kind of was like our project manager. I want to create an initial squad for this project. And the more information you give it, the more specific it can get with it. This project contains, this project is written with C#, HTMX for user experience. It contains multiple projects, including test projects using XUnit, Fluent assertions, mock, and bogus. It has a ASP.NET, MVC, Razor, Pages, project, along with an Azure Functions project. The production application is published via GitHub Actions in to Azure. So we do that. You're going to see a thinking. It may or may not prompt for questions about it. You see right here in the bottom, it's telling me my remaining quota. I have 80% of my GitHub Copilot thing. Now, this is another thing that I purposely didn't say. I'm going to get a prompt every time the GitHub Copilot or one of its agents needs to run a command that's going to interact with the disk or make a change. I'm leaving this on for a little bit so you can see what actually happens and kind of what it's doing. Eventually, I'm going to turn it off and say, go ahead and do what you need to do. I trust you. So now it's saying, hey, do you want to run git config username? That's so it's going to get my name so it knows how to address me. So it should say something like the Grand Poobah or just my name. So this is going, if you want to, kick off and allow it to just do everything, you can do / YOLO and then turn it on. Ooh, so it has a team. What is the team? Bishop, Dallas, Vasquez, Parker. What is that from?
That's Alien.
So my team's
yeah.
be from Aliens. So
I think it's Alien, not Aliens. The first movie.
I don't know the difference.
Or
I've
maybe
seen them a long time ago.
Vasquez in the first movie or the second?
We can see it. It'll tell us,
I think it was might be the second movie. So
when we look at the casting, it'll tell us where it's from. Okay. But he basically randomly picks from one of 30 different options.
Oh, very cool.
So you see here we have Bishop, who's going to be responsible for our front end. He or she knows Razor Pages, HTMX, and UX flows. Dallas is going to be a backend person, which will handle the Azure Functions, API, data flow. Vasquez is going to be our tester. He or she is going to take care of the XUnit, fluid assertions, mock, bogus, worry about edge cases. Parker's our DevOps person who handles the GitHub Actions deployments. And then we still have the Scribe and Ralph. They're available for every project. So I say, yes, this looks good, or I can add someone else to the team. Let's say they missed something, or I didn't give them the full stack of choices that I want. I can add someone, but you can always add someone at any point. So I'm going to take that squad, and now they're available. So you see in the gray, it's kind of like how it's thinking. So like I'm thinking about creating a plan to manage tasks spread across multiple files. User didn't explicitly request this, but session guidelines suggest the plan is helpful. I need to include the necessary files. Joseph approved the teams. Now it got my name from the GitHub user profile. So now it knows that that's me. And when Chris uses this locally, he's going to see Chris's name or Christopher or whatever he has registered as his Git username. So it says, I'm noticing that squad directory already exists, but it's shown blah, blah, blah. I realize there's an issue with finding the team file due to the problem with the initial glob pattern. So it starts to learn about what it's doing and realizing that, hey, I made a mistake or I didn't see this. We found the placeholders. So now it's looking to create the directories. So you see it got a bunch of file not found because it didn't see any of that history. And now it's going to want to go and create all those directories. So it's asking me to go and do that now. So if I set 1, it's going to go and create all those different directories for the skills and the casting and everything. Now, while that's being created, you see it's going to start capturing key decisions in a document saying that, hey, we use C# Razor Pages, HTMX for testing, we do this, deployment. So it's starting to put all those rules together. So once this scaffolding is done, we can go back and look at those files. Now, you'll notice if we start looking here, at the instructions, it says commit the squad folder to version control. It's your team's brain. There is already in there a git ignore for the files or the folders that you don't need. Like there's some basic temporary work directories and work structures that you don't need to commit. It's more of just some of the direct folders in there. So let's go and let's finish. Let's wait for that to do that. In the meantime, I'm going to go open up code and see if we can see some of the files. Now you see there's 126 new files that are pending, and that list might grow. If we look at, let's get at the, we're in the agents. So if we look at the agents directory, we'll see that now we have an agent for Bishop, Dallas, Parker, Ralph has been modified, Scribe has been modified. We have Ripley and Vasquez. So let's look at Bishop. I don't remember who Bishop was, but we can always do that by looking at our team. Oh, he hasn't written out the team yet. So we look at Bishop, you see, nope, he's still writing everything out. So let's just wait a minute. Oof, there goes. Now it just wrote out a bunch of stuff. As you can see, popped up on the screen. Now sometimes this formats well, sometimes it doesn't. This is the team folder or the team file. I thought it was team file. What did it say it was? Where are you? Squad. Oh, it's in this. Well, it should be the squad team. Ceremonies, or maybe Teams hasn't caught up yet. Let's see if any of these are ready. Nope, they're not ready yet. This is the one-time thing. Oh, that's why. I have to tell it to yes to approve. I'm going to do number 2, approve for all the file operations, because I don't want to have to approve each file right now. So now I went and created all those squad files so we can look. We see Bishop's charter. He is the front end dev. His expertise is Razor Pages, HTMX, page level UI, precise implementation focus, skeptical of front end sprawl. How I work, gives them instructions, what this person handles, what they don't work on. When he's unsure, he says so and then suggests who might know. And that could be you as the human, or it could be another one. It says, I don't know how to handle this. Maybe we should ask Dallas, or maybe we should ask Ralph how to, oh, not Ralph, but Parker how to handle it. And then there's everything else is in here. These are all customizable, and you'll see basically the same format for everyone. This is the initial, the initial of how each of these characters work. You can customize them however you wish. You can add things like likes boundaries and explicit integration behavior, pushes back on cleverness and makes operations to debug harder. You can take that out, and Dallas won't be as quote unquote argumentative. As you'll see after a while, I know people might not like this, but they tend to develop a personality once you start interacting with them a lot, which kind of gives them that human trait. So we look at here, we got some files in the casting that basically shows it was the universe alien, Woody, not aliens, as you see.
Good. Okay.
I created it, and this is a list of all the people that were in it. And then there's some policies. Here's the list of all the universes that could get created. So the usual suspects: Reservoir Dogs, Alien, Star Wars. I got the Matrix. It looked like it was going to recommend Futurama to us, but you can end up with any one of these. Now, in theory, I can go back and change them all, or say I want more in there. So now it's done with that, and I have this squad that's ready at our command to do whatever we want. So the first thing I would recommend doing is we're going to go back to this to full screen, Guess we don't really need that. Yes, I'm going. So now it's asking, say the project unit uses this. Project I contain multiples and allow Copilot to store this in memory. So basically, it's going to create a file that it'll load every time to kind of give it a history of it. And it's going to ask me for a lot of other stuff. So at this point, I'm going to turn on the YOLO for the rest of this chat. Do you have prod or spec docs from the squad? Skip for, do I prod or spec documentation for a squad to work from? No, we don't. So I'm going to turn on YOLO. So it's going to stop asking me for permissions. So now the team is hired. It says the live squad is now configured. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. Live squad is now configured with the roster routing, casting, seeded, charters, history, and append-only merge rules. Riley set up the product structure. So Ripley seems to be the architect. So I'm going to tell him to set up the project structure. And then he's going to kind of figure out a lot of that to make sure it's all right. So what do you think so far, Woody?
It's very cool. I like it because it's configurable and you can really, what you said, you can have up to 12 people in your squad.
I don't know if there's an actual limit.
Is there a limit? Okay.
I don't remember if there was.
Yeah. The thing with Copilot is too, you can, so here's a question. Because like I said, I'm learning this. So since Copilot can use different LLMs like Claude and OpenAI and other platforms, can you say, like, since maybe Claude is better at coding and OpenAI is better at, let's say it's better at testing, can you get it down to that point where you can say, hey, like the architect and my developer are going to use Claude and my tester is going to use open like ChatGPT or Codex.
Yep.
Can you do that also?
I know you can set up model selection, like you can change it. I'm not sure if you
Okay.
can do it per thing. So like
Okay.
within Copilot, we'll check right now, but within Copilot, I can do model and then it'll list out
Okay.
the models, or I can just give it the actual name
Yeah.
of a model.
Yeah, because like if you have like Claude Max and you have tons of tokens and
Yep.
use it, it would be good to be able to use that.
Yeah, you can definitely switch. I just don't know if you can do it on a person by person. Let's
That
see.
would, well, maybe that's something Brady and who's ever.
I'm looking right now. They have a page on model selection. So, yeah, here you can say use Sonnet for code,
Yeah.
Haiku for everything else.
Yeah.
Switch back to automatic selection.
So that's kind of cool. So you can use, like, for some things, you can use your lower token usage.
Yeah, and there is an economy mode that was recently added in this build that goes
Yeah.
for the quote unquote cheaper of the ones. But
Very
again,
cool.
there's pluses and minuses
Yes.
for all of them. Oh, there's a role to model, so you can actually do that. You can say the default model for core dev is Claude Sonnet 4.6. For testers is this. For architect, use anything. So it is possible.
Awesome. Good. Good.
Okay, let's go
Well,
back and
I'm
see.
gonna. So Joe, I'll let you know on Wednesday we have our first user group meeting for our AI developer group here in Grand Rapids, and I'm really watching you do this because I'm gonna be doing the same thing. I'm gonna be demoing Squad for the first meeting, since I couldn't find a speaker at short notice. So I guess I'm gonna be the speaker and showing off just for like 20, 30 minutes. I demoing Squad. So this is really cool. The thing I like most about this is how you can break out your work, and one, it can be done in parallel, but I also like it because it probably cuts down on context drift, where if you just have one agent doing everything, it can start drifting into different directions and kind of going off topic. And this probably keeps it from really staying on topic because of
Yeah, it does, and you can also set up rules. Like in my or the project that I've been using it for, my Joseph Guadagno Net broadcasting, you can have it set up where that each person or each agent that's on the team can must submit a PR with their work. It has to be assigned to a GitHub issue. Once the PR is done, they have to run all the unit tests to make sure they pass, because a lot of times they created PRs, and then the build failed or the test failed. And then I added a new rule that says Neo, who's my architect, has to review every PR. So then that agent goes and does a double check to make sure there's no holes, no security gaps. All the features were implemented, and sometimes passes it on first, sometimes adds additional things. And then there's another rule saying that if a PR fails, the agent that worked on it can't be the agent that fixes it. So either
oh,
Neo has to
that's
fix
kind
it
of
or
cool.
another agent kind of goes in. And these are things you learn over time, just like any team that gets started. You hire a bunch of junior or even senior engineers. You have to figure out how they work together and set up the right rules to
Yeah.
get team to flow. Like if we looked at the decisions and the charters for this team versus like the team I have for the broadcasting app, or even better yet, the agent repository, which uses agents to help write itself. It's kind of self-aware to some extent. You see that they're all different. It also is very much on the coding style of, who's ever the one actually typing the commands and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask,
it's very cool. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna ask Ralph where we are just to see
And that's the other
a little
thing that I
status.
really like is you can ask questions to it while it's still working, and see how things are going, and
Yeah.
stuff like
If you've
that.
been
So
looking at the screen, it's been trying to build the app to see what's there, what's happening.
so so tell me, while this is all going on, you can have this kick off, say like every morning it can kick off, or in the evening it can kick off, like when, I know Anthropic has like off hours that Claude you get more tokens at certain times of the day and on the weekends, sometimes, so that you can schedule some of your work during those times. Do you know if you can set Squad up to do that? No, I'm not putting you on the spot. I hope I'm not.
I am 90% sure you cannot. Everything
Okay.
works through the terminal.
Okay.
I've seen some cases where people are running it in a GitHub code space.
Hmm.
You know, the project's checked in there, then they open up a terminal prompt in the code space and say, hey, go work on issues 10, 11, 12, 13, and then
Gotcha.
it will go by and do everything. But right now it's all running on my machine, so I have to keep my machine on and run it. You know, there's potentially a command line, but I don't know if there's a,
Yeah.
hey, I want you to run this command in, 3 hours or at, 7 a.m. UTC or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. That would be kind of cool. Yeah. So you brought up a good point. You can run this in the GitHub Copilot environment in that CLI, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that way it would know, hey, I have people are submitting issues. Go out and take a look at the issues people have submitted for this repo and look at fixing those. So could it do that?
That was going to be one of my next commands.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So no problem. So once Ripley is done analyzing the repos, you can see right now it's still working at reading the repo, checking what docs we have put in, setting up the structure. The next command would be, hey, go to our GitHub repo. It's going to have to require me to log into GitHub and then look through all the issues and triage them, assign the right team members, put them in sprints if we want. We can tell them how many. It's going to go and do that. And then another command, the second command you should run, or it's probably just before that, or maybe after that, is, okay, now that you understand our product, what changes do you think we should make? Or are there any security risk? And then it'll go through and do a further analysis. And it can create, like when I ran it on my project initially, it created about 50 different issues, some security, some just general housekeeping, some were exception handling or lack thereof. Well, apparently Ripley's a female, so I gotta refer to her as a she and not he. She audited the repo structure and updated README to match the actual solution, .NET 10, raw SQL scripts instead of EF migrations, the separate data layer, Aspire orchestration, all 4 test projects. Cool. So that is all done. Scribe is writing basically all of Ripley's findings out. Now the next thing is I'm going to say connect. So you can do it generic messages that will just go out and then Ralph will kind of figure out who it is, or you can send targeted messages. So if I wanted to say something to Ripley now, based on what she found, I can say, hey, Ripley, we actually use EF core migrations. She'll go out and correct that. It says, I think I should acknowledge the system notification even though the user didn't directly ask for it. It seems like I need to read the agent's results. Since I'm idle, maybe there's no need for user response. Instructions say I should say appropriate action when notified, so I need to check for case scribe finished. Cool. So everything was done.
Just so you know, Jeff Fritz is on YouTube.
Oh
It
no.
says
Hey
there is
Jeff.
no hard limit. So yeah.
Cool. Okay, so next thing is I'm gonna say, what do we got? 4 minutes left if we keep this at an hour. Let's connect to my GitHub repo to look at existing issues. Now there's actually a command you could run for this, but I like to quote unquote talk to it more. It also helps you seeing what's right, what it's actually doing. No, I guess because I already connected in the prompt, it didn't require me to reconnect. You see here, it's using the GitHub MCP server to do it, saying, okay, the owner is C. Woodruff. This is the repo. Give me all the open per page. So basically, it's going to run an API command in the back of the scenes. And it recorded that it knows where the issues are, and it said it found all these issues. There's also a bunch of admin backlog ones open.
Yep.
So it found their issues. Well, at least it found some of the issues. Now the next step would be asking the architect, hey Ripley, go through the code base and create and make recommendations for improvement and for improvements in security, code quality, testability, and exception handling. Now this one's going to take a minute to run because obviously it's going to go through the code base and start analyzing every file, including the JavaScript files and everything that's going to come through. It's going to basically create a markdown file with everything. I can then tell it to go and assign those to issues, and then we can manage the issues from there.
Or you could have said, "Hey, go through all the issues and find and prioritize them based on certain."
We're going to do that next.
Cool.
So first,
See, I'm
I
always
want to.
causing trouble. I'm always thinking ahead. I'm always causing.
No, that's fine.
So
We wanted to come up with a list of all the security issues and everything,
Yeah.
and give us a true list of
Yeah.
that, and then we will prioritize that list, and then Ripley will give us like anything that's critical, high, and then we'll have it label our GitHub repo with all those, and then we can start assigning them to sprints, and then get the team to work on it in sprints. So
now
considering-
the squad, this can go out and update the issues. Is that what you're saying?
yes.
Actually, oh,
Yes,
very
we'll,
cool.
we'll enable it to
Okay.
update the issues. They'll create issues. They'll close the issues. They'll be able to create PRs, close PRs. Or we'll give it some guidance, tomorrow or Wednesday that, whenever you're fixing an issue, you need to create a PR for it. And then Ripley needs to review the PR before it's available for you or I to approve it. So considering it's 12 my time or 3 Eastern, this is going to go off for a while. So instead of sitting and watching paint, I think it's a good point for us to stop. Now we know we have roughly, was it 24 issues, I think, if I remember
Yeah, I think
correctly.
it was about 24, couple
So if
of
we look here, there are 16 open
16.
issues.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, Ripley, or when we tune into the stream tomorrow, Ripley will give us a list of recommendations that we will turn into issues and see if it's going to go from 16 to 30 or 40 or 60.
Maybe 600. So
Maybe. I mean,
maybe
when I
6767. So who knows?
could
Right?
be. You never know.
Yeah.
So this is going to run on my machine. There's no reason to really continue streaming with it. Once it's done, I'll make sure the file's saved off. And then tomorrow when we start at 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll continue where Ripley led off.
Left off.
Any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments on this YouTube page or tweet at or Blue Sky or
on LinkedIn.
Woody or I will make sure tomorrow we have a little slide deck or something with our contact information on the bottom.
And if you saw this we're going to post this video out to LinkedIn also. So if you see it on LinkedIn, give it a like, give it a repost. YouTube, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. So
All that stuff.
I'm the salesman. So cool. Well, Joe, this was awesome. So thank you. I did learn a lot. So this is
Cool.
a very cool thing. I know there's other platforms like this because I know what OpenClaw does some stuff like this, and some other of the claws out there do stuff like this. But we wanted to give a little plug out for our buddy Brady
I mean,
for for
I give
doing
Brady
this.
all the credit for it. It's a great thing so far. I've been using it daily, and it kind of makes me feel. It made me feel bad for some of it because I'm like, I can't believe I missed that, or "Oh, I can't believe that happened, or I made that
Yeah,
mistake or that mistake. But the good thing is, it's not perfect too. You know,
yeah,
it submits PRs that I review, and it's missing things, or I run it, and there's been a feature I've been trying to fix for almost 20 hours now, and it can't find out what's wrong. So might be time to switch the things. But it's more of something cool to show, or another way to
yeah,
use AI without being super afraid of
yeah,
it.
yeah. Very
And
cool.
Jeff, if you're still watching, I'd love to hear your feedback on what you thought of our first episode.
Well, we have someone watching, so uh, we have Wiley
Coyote.
Wiley Bill 00. I think he's still
Cool.
watching. He says, "Tough crowd. It's good to see Squad getting more attention. I've been using it for a while, and I'm not sure I'm using it correctly or efficiently yet." So yeah, yeah. Maybe we can even get Brady to come on
Yeah.
and give us some ideas on how to maybe use it effectively, or who knows. So so oh, okay, William from the TwinCities.net user group. Okay, so hey William. Okay, well, we will wrap up, and thanks, Joe. I know
No
I
worries.
appreciate you doing this, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.